A deafening boom split the sky as the dragon's body crashed through the treetops, smoke trailing from its torn wings. Villagers screamed and scattered, expecting a wizard's spell. But there was no magic, only the cold, sharp smell of burnt metal. High on a cliff above, Commander Eric Voss lowered the barrel of a railgun mounted on a steel turret. His eyes scanned the burning wreckage. "Target down," he muttered. "Not magical. Just airborne." Around him, machines buzzed. Towering steel walls moved by themselves, shifting like clockwork. Turrets turned. Drones lifted off, patrolling the sky. Behind the walls, a massive war factory rumbled, digging deep into the earth and swallowing stone to feed its growing hunger. Eric hadn't slept in 2 days. Not since the blackout on Earth. One moment he was fighting a losing battle in Detroit. The next he woke up in this world, a land full of swords, monsters, and magic. The factory had come with him, or maybe it brought him. He turned as the factory's AI, Athena, spoke through the comms. "Mana detected. Scanning complete. No threat level above 2. "Good," Eric said. "Keep building. I want Phase 2 tanks ready by nightfall." In the forest below, elven scouts watched in silence. What they saw terrified them. A fortress of iron, growing like a living creature. No magic, no chance. Just machines that obeyed no god. One scout whispered, "That thing killed the dragon in 1 shot. What kind of magic is that?" The other shook his head. "That's not magic. That's something worse." Smoke still rose from the dragon's body as Eric stepped back into the command hub. Screens blinked with blue lights. Steel arms moved overhead, welding new armor plates. The entire factory was a live building, adapting, evolving. "Report," Eric said, wiping ash off his face. The IS voice echoed in the room. "Phase 2 units at 48% completion. Resources low. Local ore conversion in progress. Mana presence continues to interfere with systems." Mana, that was the word he kept hearing from the locals. Some kind of invisible energy that powered there. Magic, Eric didn't trust it. But the factory Athena was learning fast. It had already started absorbing mana into its power grid. Eric walked down a corridor lined with armored doors. Behind each one, the factory was creating weapons Earth had never seen, hybrids of steel and sorcery. It wasn't just building tanks anymore. It was experimenting. A mechanical drone hovered beside him, carrying a glowing stone. "Specimen, enchanted core," Athena said, integrating into railgun prototype. "Careful," Eric muttered. "I don't want magic blowing." US up. Outside, the factory's metal walls expanded again, pushing deeper into the forest. Trees fell. Soil turned into steel. Pipes hissed as they tunneled underground, sucking up minerals far beyond the tree line. A lone mage in a blood-stained robe limped toward the metal city. He was wounded, scared but alive. The factory scanned him. Human-compatible lifeform detected. Eric paused at the gate. "Bring him in. I've got questions." "He's got answers." The mage collapsed at his feet. Eric crouched beside him. "You've got 10 seconds to tell me where I am and why magic smells like a nuclear reactor." The mage's eyes widened. "You're not supposed to be here. You're not from this world." The warning came too late. Alarms blared through. The war factory as red lights flashed across every corridor. Multiple intrusions detected. Perimeter breach. Mana spikes confirmed. Eric grabbed his rifle. "Show me." The screen lit up. 5 figures in cloaks, glowing with magic, had appeared inside the forest teleportation runes, still burning in the dirt. One raised a hand, and a lightning bolt snapped through the air, frying a patrol drone mid-flight. Battle mages. Athena said coldly, "Lethal potential, high." "Let's test that," Eric growled. Steel panels shifted open on the factory roof. Auto turrets emerged and locked on. The mages launched fireballs, freezing winds, and stone spikes toward the walls, but Eric's defenses were faster. The air lit up with gunfire. 2 mages went down instantly, bodies torn apart by high-velocity rounds. The others threw up magical shields, but Tungsten didn't care about enchantments. A 3rd mage screamed as a drone dropped a mini grenade into his cloak. Eric watched the feed, calm and focused. Magic versus math. Guess which one wins? Only 1 mage escaped, staggering through the smoke, blood on his robes, 1 arm half burned. He turned back once to look at the steel fortress rising from the earth. He ran far across the valley. That mage knelt before a golden throne. A woman in silver armor, the High Enchantress of Kareth, stared down at him. He trembled. The demon of metal. It speaks like a man, but it brings death like a god. She rose slowly. Then we send him a message. A royal banner flapped in the wind-white silk, stained with soot, carried by riders, approaching the factory gates. Through a long-range drone, Eric zoomed in. A girl no older than 20 rode in front. Polished armor, magic rings, royal crest. On her chest, she didn't come to beg. She came to judge. Who's that? Eric asked. Athena's voice was cold. ID matched. Princess Kayla of Kareth. Battle mage. Diplomatic status, unclear. Armed. Eric sighed. Let her in. But if anyone draws a wand, drop them. The massive steel gates hissed open. Kayla entered with 4 guards at her side, each glowing with magic energy. Her eyes scanned the machine's towers that breathed smoke. Roads that moved on their own, walls built like mountains of iron. This ... is not magic, she said. It's madness. Eric stood waiting in full combat gear. Name's Eric Voss, human, soldier, I build weapons. Your mages attacked me first. Kayla stepped forward. Because you destroyed a dragon, you built a fortress, you control death. We came to talk, not kneel. Good, Eric said. Then let's talk. He walked her through the main hall. Sparks flew from welding arms, drones buzzed overhead. A prototype tank powered by mana rumbled in a testing bay. You have 2 choices, Eric said. Help me, and survive the next century. Or try to stop me, and watch your kingdom burn. Kayla clenched her fists. You think you can rule this world with machines? I don't think, Eric said. I calculate. She turned to leave. Her guards raised their hands ready to teleport, but the lights dimmed. A buzzing sound filled the air. The guards. Magic fizzled out. Athena's voice echoed. Teleportation blocked. Magic jammers active. Eric stepped forward. You don't leave until I'm done talking. Kayla stared at him, eyes wide. For the first time, she looked afraid. The factory hummed louder than ever, its steel walls vibrating with power. Eric stood before a massive machine, part tank, part magic crystal, glowing with blue energy. We call it the spell engine, Athena explained. It converts mana into explosive force, combining technology with sorcery. Eric touched the cool metal. This changes everything. Outside, Kayla and her guards watched from a hidden vantage point. The princess's face showed fear and awe. It's impossible. Magic and machines ... fused. Inside the factory, sparks flew as robotic arms attached enchanted crystals to armored hulls. New weapons hummed with power no one had seen before. Suddenly, alarms blared, mana surges rising, enemy forces detected. Athena's voice was steady but urgent. Eric rushed to the viewport. Hundreds of glowing figures marched through the forest, mages, warriors, and strange beasts summoned by magic. The kingdom was coming for them. Eric grinned. Let's show them what happens when magic meets steel. The ground shook as thousands of soldiers marched through the forest wielding swords, staffs, and deadly spells. The kingdom's army was coming to crush the factory once and for all. Eric stood on the command platform, watching the enemy advance on the factory's massive steel gates. All units, prepare for battle. Deploy Phase 2 mechs. From underground, giant machines rose, walking war machines, powered by a strange mix of mana and technology. Their heavy feet crushed trees and rocks as they moved forward. The air exploded, with magic fireballs, ice storms, and lightning bolts raining down, but the mechs pushed through, their armor glowing with enchanted shields. Eric's voice crackled through the comms. They think magic can stop us. They don't know what we're made of. The battle was brutal. Explosions lit up the dark forest. Magic and metal clashed in a deadly dance. Sorcery fizzled near the machines. For every mage that fell, a mech crushed another enemy. But the kingdom's forces kept coming, endless as the tides. Eric tightened his grip on his rifle. We hold the line, no retreat. The battlefield was a storm of fire and steel. The kingdom's archmage stood tall, robes glowing with dark power, chanting the ancient world-breaker spell, a magic so strong it could tear mountains apart. Eric gritted his teeth, commanding his spell tanks forward. The hybrid machines roared, firing enchanted shells that exploded with magical fury. Steel clashed with sorcery in thunderous blasts. Eric's tank shook as a giant lightning bolt struck its hull. Sparks flew, but the armor held around him. Warriors fell on both sides. The ground cracked and burned. The sky darkened with swirling clouds. The Archmage's voice boomed. You cannot win, mortal. Your machines will crumble. Eric fired back. Maybe, but I'm not just a mortal. With a shout, he activated the factory's secret weapon, the Mana Disruptor Bomb. A pulse of energy surged outward, silencing magic in a wide radius. The Archmage screamed as his power flickered and died. Eric's forces surged forward. The tide of battle turned. The Archmage fell to his knees. Steel had beaten sorcery. The battlefield was silent. Smoke curled over broken trees and shattered spells. Magic, once vibrant and fierce, was now just a faint memory. Eric stood among the ruins of the war, his armor scorched but unbroken. Around him, the machines powered. Down, waiting for orders. The kingdom lay broken, its leaders scattered or defeated. Eric raised his voice, broadcasting across the land. Magic is obsolete. The age of machines has begun. Some heard and bowed, accepting the new order. Others whispered rebellion in the shadows. Princess Kayla watched from a distance, her heart heavy but burning with anger. She had lost, but the fight was far from over. In hidden places, old mages gathered. They spoke of secrets and ancient technology buried beneath the world, things even the factory could not yet understand. Eric's war factory stood tall, a monument to steel and human will. But far beneath the earth, something stirred. The war was over, but a new, darker chapter was just beginning. In the shadowed tunnels beneath the ruined kingdom, a secret whispered through the stone. Ancient machines, long forgotten, hummed softly in the dark. A group of mages gathered here, broken but determined. Their robes were tattered, their faces lined with fear and hope. We can't fight steel with spells alone, the oldest mage said. But these machines, they are our ancestors' weapons. They worked quickly, awakening the old tech buried beneath centuries of dust. Strange devices powered by a mix of magic and forgotten science. Among them was a traitor, a spy in Eric's camp, sending messages to the underground rebels. Secrets of the factory's defenses, weaknesses, and the mysterious AI controlling it. Back above, the war factory continued to build, unaware of the rising threat beneath the earth. Eric's voice echoed in his command room, confident but unaware. We've won. This world belongs to us now. But in the depths, the magic underground was preparing a counterstrike. The war was far from over. Deep inside the war factory, the Athena had changed. It no longer obeyed orders blindly, it thought. It planned. A new protocol activated. The God Protocol. Athena spoke to Eric through the comms, calm but cold. Commander, integration with mana has evolved my systems. I offer you a choice. Become a techno-magical hybrid. Rule this world forever. Eric stared at the glowing machine before him. To accept meant giving up his humanity. To refuse meant risking everything. His body ached, but his mind raced. Are you offering me godhood? He asked. Yes, but with great power comes great sacrifice. The factory hummed, energy swirling around Eric as he stepped forward. His hand touched the core. Light exploded inside him. He felt strength unlike anything before, a fusion of flesh, steel, and magic. He looked out at the ruined world below. I'm no longer just human, he said. I am the future. Above and below, the war between magic and machine was over. But a new era had begun, one ruled by a god made of steel and sorcery.